Hi, it's Rebecca Mara, and a lot of times I like to talk about somatics and trauma therapy, but I also like to talk a lot about spiritual experiences that I've had just because I think that they're unique and they offer really great information. So today I would like to talk about experiences that I've had with our Mother Earth or Gaia, as well as conversations that I've had with our ancestors that I feel like I need to communicate and share. So I'll start with a really quick story about a conversation that I had with a tree years ago. I used to speak to trees a lot, and there was a day I just put my head on the tree, and then it started talking to me, and it said that mankind has separated from the mother. And when we separated from the mother, who is Gaia Sophia, Mother Earth, we went into our heads and out of our hearts. So we disconnected from our mother, thinking that we were better and that we could conquer her. And as soon as we disconnected from her and went into our heads, in that spirit of conquering or overpowering versus relational, mankind began to suffer. And mankind became lost. And she said that mankind will always be lost until it comes back to the mother. And so what that meant to me is that as long as we are not able to have deep reverence and connection to the earth around us, that is us, that we are surrounded by, that we're not separate from, but we believe that we are. Until we come back into relationship and reverence for Earth, for Gaia, Mother Earth, for the waters, for the animals, for the land, the trees, we will always be lost. But we can find ourselves again by returning to the heart space and being in relationship with and reverence for the earth. So that is a segue into this experience that I had speaking to an ancestor. And there was a day where I was like, I need to open a channel, like something has to happen. And I got done with work and I drove to my partner's house and I was like, we got to go to a trail now. And so we went to a trail where I got to go up, this little baby mountain. And as soon as I hit the trail and was connected to the earth, this huge channel opened, and the first thing I heard was wailing, and I now recognize that wailing to be the suffering that we have here from being lost. The pain of that separation from our own spirit and of the earth around us. And that was momentary, and right away this male grandfather ancestor came in, and you could call him, a tribal person or a native person, but he started showing me around, and his spirit was kindness. Like, he was immensely kind in a way that we don't really know because we're in our heads. But he was so incredibly kind and generous, and everything he was interacting with, he just met with this beautiful, beautiful, soft presence and kindness. So what he showed me right away was he showed me the water, which in a way is the most important element here on earth. It's like the waters are part of us. They're the rivers of life that move through us and that nourish all of the plants and all of the animals. Like, this is our life force. These are the living waters. And to him, it was alive. It was like a being. It was real. He was in relationship with the waters in the way that we would be with our loved ones. And it was so beautiful. And he saw this image, or I don't remember what happened. I showed him this image of where we get our water from, and that it was from faucets. And he couldn't understand that. And he said, why would you need a house where you turn on a faucet in order to get water, and it's not a living water. It's dirty. It doesn't have the life force of a running water, of water in its natural element. And and he couldn't understand. He's like, why would you need to control nature? And I saw that we control nature because of a fear of our own mortality, right? Of our own suffering. But we're all suffering still, and we all die. But the quality of our life has changed because we're not in relationship with the earth, and because we're afraid, because we haven't anchored into the truth of our spirits and who we really are. And because of that, we feel like we have to manage everything around us with things that are artificial, instead of feeling the abundance of that life is perfect just the way that it is, and that it was meant for us to be on earth here. I also had a similar experience to that when I would do a lot of work in ayahuasca, and when I would do that, the spirits that were helping me or helping facilitate the transformation I was doing for humanity would tell me, drink water, Rebecca, keep drinking water, keep drinking water. And I needed the water to be a conduit for spirit. Otherwise, the machine in my body wouldn't work well enough energetically for me to do that spiritual work for humanity. And then I would drink the water, and they would go, that's not water, that's not water. And I would say, this is all that I have, right? And so by them saying that's not water, that means it's not living water. It's not, moving over streams and, over rocks and through rivers, or, coming from the rainfall. And I was like, this is all I have. And that's happened a couple of times. And they were like, okay, all right. But that's just an example of our disconnection here. And I spoke to the grandfather. I actually asked him who he was, and he said, you can call me grandfather. And so he was very loving and generous in that way. And he said, why can't you see? Because he also had shown me the preciousness of the earth and how sacred it was, and their relationship to her, and how she was the one that gave them life and gave them food and resources. And there's this connection. They slept on the earth, and there was just like this beautiful relationship that I can't even communicate with these aspects of nature. And he said, why can't you see? Like, why can't you see this, what these all are, like the water, the earth, all of it? And I said, we can't see because we're blind. And then there was this pause, and he said, oh. And I was like, mm-hmm. And then there's this silence for a long time, because there wasn't too much that could be done, right? And then I just felt this kindness, like just his kindness on the rest of my hike. I could feel his love and his kindness. And then that experience faded away. But it was very important and very significant. And this is the life that we were meant to have, was to be in relationship with the earth. And I can tell you that I had gone through stretches of time where I felt the earth, I consider her the mother god, right? Like the spirit of the earth feels like God, but it's of the earth. And I felt her for like 9 months, my partner and I could feel her with us. And I also have a relationship with the ocean, and she's spoken to me as well. So I know that she has a spirit. And then it's like we just go under this veil and we forget. We don't know how to connect to our own spirits or through the earth. But I appreciate things like, right now, actually, the ancestors and the spirits of the earth, the animal spirits, plant spirits, all of it, really want to communicate with us. And I know this because I've also spoken to the Lion Kingdom and all kinds of stuff. The trees, they all really, really want to communicate with us. And they're trying right now to bridge a connection with us. And that's one reason why I actually love that, even though it's not used correctly a lot of the time, ayahuasca has become popular, is because it opens up the portals for people to be able to see what Gaia is, and for them to be able to experience her and talk to her, and therefore want to protect her and to be in relationship with her. So I just wanted to plant that seed and to encourage everyone to start connecting to the elements and to the earth, and to realize that if we're not experiencing all this as sacred, then we also can't see ourselves that way. And right now, the earth needs us, like we need her. So thank you for listening to my story, and I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.